Hi guys, Rebecca from Reflections of a Bookworm, and I've already failed at this weekly vlog. Hello cat. So it's Monday and I was meant to start recording this morning and then I slipped in. I had a job interview between 11:30 and 1:30, so I'm waiting to hear back from that. But I am currently reading Carrie by Stephen King. This is about a girl who is telekinetic, and what I've heard is that she basically like loses it and tries to kill everybody. So I'm halfway through at the moment. Prom night is just about to kick off, so I'm right by the action. It is a bit slow. I wasn't expecting it to be in multiple perspectives. So we've got Carrie's perspective. We've also got a couple of other characters, secondary characters in there as well. And there's also an element of non-fiction. So this is non-fiction that's being published in the future about Carrie and about what happens to Carrie. So that's peppered through here as well. It's interesting, it's easy to read, but I do feel like a lot of it could have been trimmed, which I think is just standard for Stephen King novels, or the early ones at least. So we'll see how today goes. I've got to go to an acupuncture appointment in an hour, and I also have to run around after my grandma. So hopefully I'll get to read this soon after my appointment. I didn't need to get acupuncture, thank God. I am so happy and relieved. I was low-key really worried. My friend Sarah said it didn't hurt, but it's always the unknown, isn't it? Instead, I had a massage, got some exercises to do. Apparently there's a lot of tension in my back. He actually asked me last week, do you feel how tense this is? And I was like, I'm a really tense person, so no. I read a few pages of Carrie in the waiting room while I was sat there in my hospital gown, which was super awkward. Now to go home and make some dinner and then read some more. And apparently my osteopath is a Slytherin, and I kind of wish he'd told me before I got on the table. It's Tuesday and we aren't getting up unless we absolutely have to. I finished Carrie. It was okay. I don't know, I just found it quite disjointing with the different perspectives hopping about and the non-fiction in there as well. And I understood how Carrie turned out the way she did, but I just wish that we'd spent a bit more time with her. Because she's the main character, I think that you need, if you don't have that connection with the main character, you're never going to properly enjoy the book. It won't stop me reading another Stephen King novel, because how he laid out Carrie's powers? Yeah, powers. How he laid those out and set them up was really interesting and something I haven't seen before. So I am going to try and pick up another Stephen King novel and see how I get on with that. Maybe Misery. I've heard Pet Sematary is really good. And there was a lot of heaving breasts in this one. I don't know about you, but I like to keep my heaving breasts to a minimum in my fiction, especially when it's about teenagers. But yeah, I haven't moved, the cats haven't moved, and now I need to drag my carcass out of bed to go and play roller derby. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I've literally come through to the kitchen to vlog because I started my new book, which is Get a Life Chloe Brown, gifted to me via NetGalley. This doesn't affect my opinion. Oh my god, I freaking love it. I absolutely love it. I didn't realise that it was enemies to lovers, or maybe I did and I forgot. Anyway, and it's just so cute. Like, I'm literally 4 chapters in and I just absolutely adore it. It is hilarious. It's one of those relationships where they're sniping at each other because they don't understand each other, but they definitely fancy each other. And his best friend knows, like, he fucking knows. He's like, oh yeah, you wonder about the girl in 1D again? I'm like, yes, I'm totally there for it. I fucking love it. It took me, the prologue, I wasn't that bothered about Chloe in the prologue, just because, I don't know, it just felt like the dialogue, or just the voice of it, I didn't really understand it. It didn't make much sense sometimes. It was almost like, you know how sometimes people from other countries think that Brits only ever talk like, you know, like a really posh voice, and we only drink tea and eat scones and blah blah, like kind of like that. But then I realised it's because Chloe is actually posh, and I was like, oh okay, that's fine. And then I was totally hooked. So yeah, 4 chapters in, 3 o'clock in the morning. Try not to burst out laughing and wake up my partner cause he'll kill me. Yeah, so let's see how this goes. Because I stayed up last night so late, it's now lunchtime, but I have my tea, I have my cat, and I'm ready to read some more Chloe Brown. I realised I actually had like a ton to do around the house and it was getting a bit ridiculous, so I finished an audiobook. So this is my second book of the week. It's Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGuinness, and it's about a girl called Lynn who lives with her mother in the countryside. They have this little cottage right by a little pond. The amount of water that's left in America is drastically low, so it's a bit of a post-apocalyptic kind of adventure story, but not really. What I liked about it was I really liked the characters, and then it did feel quite original to me, and it really looked at how you can be a product of your environment in some ways. It was quite insular as well, and I find sometimes that with post-apocalyptic or dystopian fiction, it's one kid that's out to right the whole world, and sometimes that isn't a realistic goal to have. But in Not a Drop to Drink, Lynn is just trying to protect her family. She's just trying to protect her family, she's trying to protect her water source, and that's all she cares about, and that's okay that that's all she cares about. As the novel goes on, I don't know, I felt like the synopsis sold me things that it didn't really deliver on. Probably between about 30% and 75%, it just kind of meandered along and got a bit stagnant. And I almost did DNF it because it was fine, but I was just, ugh. I wanted there to be more action, especially if you've got an insular setting. You need the action to be pushing the plot forward when the scenery isn't changing. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was okay. It was a fun read. It was something new. The audiobook was really good. The narrator was great. It was just the actual story that I wasn't really bothered about. And then the last 15%, I'd say, it did start to pick up a lot more. But by then, I had disconnected from it and it didn't hit home as hard as it probably would have if I was enjoying it more. But anyway, I give it 3 stars, and that's 2 books finished this week. I'm on a freaking roll. Now, I am definitely going to be continuing with Chloe Brown, and hopefully it'll be a 5-star book. Yes! Are you okay? You tripping? I'm over halfway through Get a Life Chloe Brown and I'm loving it, but I thought I'd try and savour it a little bit. So I've come into my study to have a look at my books and rearrange them, because as you can see there's like bags over here of books, and I want to make it a bit tidier, but then I found myself in a bit of a predicament. So this is my, yeah, I can't be bothered standing up. So this is my this is my red shelf. So notice here that we've got Ghost Town by Rachel Caine, which is the 9th book in the Morganville Vampire series. And then from this section all the way here, all the books that I've actually got to read. And there's Ghost Town by Rachel Caine, the 9th book in the Morganville Vampire series. Have I read it though, or have I not? And how did I end up with 2 copies? So that started to bother me, and I thought I'd have a little look on Goodreads. This isn't the first time it's happened where I found a book that I already have. Oh yeah, haven't read it. Great. What a dick. As you can tell by my hair, it's cleaning day. I'm still just over halfway through. These cats are nuts. Still halfway through Get Life Chloe Brown, and I'm loving it, but still trying to eke it out. So I started an audiobook. It's called These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. It's a YA contemporary fantasy about a young girl who has broken up with her horrifically emotionally abusive and manipulative ex-girlfriend, but they actually are in the same witch coven. So they go to a party, shenanigans ensue, arguments kick off, and then they discover a sacrifice, an animal sacrifice, so trigger warning for that, and they think that a blood witch might have moved into Salem. It's really good, really enjoying it. The narration is excellent. I love the voice. And God, I hate her ex-girlfriend. She's so horrible. I absolutely cannot stand her. So that's where I'm at. I'm listening to that while I tidy the house, which is really fun. Trying to stop the cats from killing each other. Wish me luck with that. But hopefully tonight I've got a bit of studying to do for uni tomorrow, and then I can carry on reading. So I'll keep you updated. It's Monday and I finally finished Get a Life Chloe Brown. I'm giving it 5 whole stars. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I loved that it's a book about not just existing with a disability, but living with a disability, and that there is a big difference. I mean, if you watch the rest of the video, you know how else I felt about it, that I love the friendships, I love the relationships between the different characters. I loved the dynamic between Red and Chloe. I thought it was just so well done. And as the story progressed, it was really well thought out and developed. It wasn't rushed. It was just beautiful. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. The only slight kind of issue I had was structurally, and that was a bit closer to the end. I just felt a bit like, are we really going to do this just to like hit a plot point? I felt that the book had come on a lot further than that. But apart from that little issue, I absolutely loved it. And I think that wraps up this vlog. So I've read 3 books. Wow. I've done pretty well this week. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books. Tell me what you thought about them. Let me know if you're going to pick them up based on my reviews. And tell me what you've been reading. I really want to know.